So then, whatever. So then I go home and I tell Dave, I'm like, so, oh my God, you won't even believe it. Like, Wilhelmina, whatever. And he's like, oh, they probably wanted something for like theatrical stuff or for commercial stuff. And I said, well, I don't care. It made me feel good anyway. So first of all, that kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that wasn't a cool thing
He's
to say.
saying I'm a model, but you can't be. You know what I mean? Because he is. And so then you know what I did today? I wrote her. And you know what I did? This is what makes me sad. It's because I wrote her and was like, hey, met you at Target. You know, kind of like, I wanted to be like, why did you give me your card? You know what I mean? When I walked away, were you like, whatever? But instead I was like, whatever. So then she writes right back. She's like, great, send me some pictures. So I send her pictures, but along with the pictures I write, oh, you should also look at my boyfriend. He's da-da-da-da. But I did that. I don't know why. I guess because I felt like there's no way on God's green earth that she wanted to really, whatever. There's no way in the world. I'm an adult. There's no way nothing like that's ever going to work out. So maybe it's because he needs a modeling agency or whatever. So she writes back immediately, and she's like, because I send her his website. Great. Send me more pictures of Dave. And I was like, aw. Because this is like the third time this shit's happened.
Why'd you do that?
But you did it to yourself.
I don't know. Self-sabotage. It made me kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's self-sabotage, though.
In a way.
It is if you feel bad about it.
Don't pay attention to me, pay attention to Dave. But see, he doesn't do that for me. I mean, because he's smarter. He's like, he does his thing first, and when he gets it, he'll say, now I want you to meet so-and-so.
Did you tell him that it made you feel bad that he...
No.
I think that probably would help you not feel sad. Because I think all this stuff probably stems from the first thing that he said.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
was probably about
go
commercial
home and
stuff.
break something he really likes.
That's a good idea. No, I'm
Like
just
his
kidding.
daughter.
I would never. I don't think he did it knowing what he was doing. How's that banana bread?
It's quite good. Here's the problem, like, people's perception of you, like, I know that everyone in West Hollywood, and the three of us do, even though we get it, and I get you're saying that everyone feels insecure, it doesn't match up with what we see. So there's like a complete disconnect between how you feel about yourself and what's perceived. It's sort of like the girl we were talking about that, she's beautiful, but is socially awkward, and so everyone thinks she's a bitch. But she's just scared, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you reconcile those things, but it's difficult for the rest of us to understand. That you think you'd be a plus-size model.
Oh, absolutely. I would be, Steve. I would be. Absolutely would be. So that was where I was like, what is she, like, what's going on here? Like, why would she, whatever. But instead of, like, breathing through it and saying, maybe because they have a different thing, like moms, young moms or something, which they do actually have, like a little thing for, like, normal people. And I was like... What?
Nothing.
But anyway, I was just kind of disappointed in myself because I always do that. Instead of, and even when I meet people,
it's ridiculous.
It's always like, oh, meet. And when I was growing up, I used to do that with my sister. If anybody would say something to me, I'd say, oh, you've got to see my sister.
You're not putting yourself at the top of the list.
Yeah, and I think the thing, especially with what
makes me sad.
with what she did with the Target woman, was that she never even saw it. Dave played no role in it whatsoever, and you immediately brought that into it because it takes all of the pressure off you.
Totally. Because I'm like, she's going to tell me to jump in the lake, I might as well not feel bad.
You're doing exactly what the hell I'm doing. You think you already know the result. So you're bracing yourself for it already. So let's just back off it. She's probably going to want me anyways.
Totally.
You need to engage.
That's foolish. She approached you.
That's right. She came to you.
Which is why
sought her out.
Crazy. I was like, oh my God, that just felt so good. Oh my God, that was the best compliment ever. You know what I mean? I felt really good.
I think, though, that's why because when you recognize that with Dave's first response, that's what hurt your feelings right away, if you talk that through with him, then you don't feel the need to sabotage the communication with her. Like, you felt great about the fact that she came up to you.
But then again, at the same time, I was like, I feel great. That's such a compliment, but I'm not an idiot. Like, I know that I'm 28.
Yeah, but that's different than, like, self-sabotaging and throwing somebody else in front.
And you're also telling her business. You know what I mean? Like, let her tell you what she wants from you. You have no idea what it is, but she definitely doesn't want me for that, so it's got to be this. But that's ridiculous. How can you not do that? How can you stop doing that? Is it a choice?
I don't know. I really
can you make
don't
the
know.
choice to not do that?
I guess I have to start, and it's like very interesting because sometimes they call it shadow artist, like being an artist and being a person who I like to be in front of the camera and take pictures, but I guess I'm kind of living in the shadow of anybody. And it's not just Dave, it was my sister when I was growing up too. Try to live in the shadow, be safe over here, not vulnerable type of thing. But I guess I could.
But you're braver than that.
I know.
So
in real life, I guess when it comes to the real
real
stuff,
life.
I don't know.
Yeah. You just got to make the choice to not do it, right?
Yeah.
And again, from the outside perspective, you're awesome.
What
So it's
about
like,
you making the choice not to do it?
To do what?
Not to sabotage your relationship or whatever, like we were just saying. You just said it. You said you're doing the same thing I'm doing.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm not pointing fingers. You're right. Believe me. That's why I'm trying to work this out. So I'm trying to make that choice. It's not an easy one, but I'm trying to do it. But goddamn, it's tough to like undo or to change the roadmap that you've.
Crazy.
Like, even in therapy, we're all smart people here. Like, you can see it in therapy. You can say it. See, I do this because of that. And so you make the connection, but then it's like, Jesus Christ, And we've got 2 minutes that we're going to spend on Josh, because Josh hasn't said a fucking thing. I know this is just flown by. What's going on with you? You're applying to law school.
I'm applying to law school.
Which is contrary to what our fan says you should do.
Yes, I should.
How does that make you feel that he said that?
I think on the one hand, there's a perception from everybody except for me, and maybe people who I've told this to over and over and over again, that I actually want to be a lawyer. Because I don't actually want to be a lawyer.
Well, then why are you going to law school?
Right. So I'm going to law school because I want to make the world a better place, and I feel like that's an avenue where I can, like when I on the way home from something the other night, Lorena and I saw a car spin and go 70 miles an hour into the embankment on the 101, flip over and roll out, and I got out to see if they were okay. And this kid got out of the car and started walking towards me, and I asked him if I could call someone. He said he wanted to call his mom, and the whole thing was because he didn't have a license and he wasn't supposed to be driving, and he had an accident which indicated to me that either he's probably not born in this country or he's first generation in the U.S. And when the state trooper showed up, the way that they treated him and the way that they treated me, even though they didn't know whose car it was and what had happened, was completely different. And there's no way for me to know how to deal with that and how to make those situations better without going through some kind of process. So I respect people saying that stuff, but that is people who assume that I want to be a lawyer of some kind as opposed to just want to make it.
Yeah, well, and again,
better.
part of it too is like they look at you and he wants you to use your model looks,
right?
Which so there's a perception, particularly in this town, of what the skill set that you have,
right,
and what you should be doing with it.
Right.
How does that part make you feel?
Jana has a number for you.
That's right. Dave and I can.
That's right. Totally.
Well done. Well played, Daniel. Well played.
So how does that make you feel, though? He goes, the acting bug won't go away.
And say it in 40 seconds.
In 40 seconds. I agree with that, but to me it's not an acting bug. It's a creativity. So what I want to do is find creative ways to change the world. And I don't know what that's going to look like. But
dance.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do interpretive dance about the global economy.
Lovely. Well, we've got 25 seconds left. This has been a terrific show. If you want to email us, just been jam-packed this show. If you want to email us, talkingwith@gmail.com. Catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/talkingwith. I want to thank Gordon from Rhode Island. I want to thank Keen70. Get a sense of humor. I want to thank a fan for those wonderful words. I want to thank the Unhygienist who's pushing our buttons, and to Yvette as well, who's just a wonderful human being. Thank you, and we'll see you next Thursday.
And we might win that award.
Oh yeah, we're going to win an award.
For this show.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't we? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I want to win that so bad.